actually, we got so excited every Wednesday to introduce a new speaker and new topic to discuss it. So I'm gonna start today to brief what we're gonna talk about. So as you know, our business is like a machine, and like any machine, no matter how complex or simple, it's the sum of its parts. If any components fail, the entire machine comes to a screeching halt. The same principle applies to business. If any part of our business is failing to work, it can break the entire business down. To keep our business running like a well-oiled machine, our system should integrate seamlessly and work in harmony. So everyday business of all sizes, all industries juggle 100 or even thousands of data points. Is it too much data to handle? Maybe it's not necessary, but all the information must be used and analyzed effectively. Thus, by combining ERP, CRM, and BI solutions, provide businesses with the best of each world. Does it help optimize decision making for organizations? And finally, does your ERP is incomplete with BI? So all these questions will be discussed today with our special guest speaker, Dr. Wafi Chaar. He's a holder of a PhD in artificial intelligence and director of BAS. Dr. Wafi has 20 years of experience in the IT management and the implementation of ERP, CRM, BI, and AI systems for local and multinational companies. So let us welcome again Dr. Wafi. How are you today?
Thank you, Sinar. Thank you, Sinar. It's really a pleasure to be with you all.
It's our pleasure too, Dr. Wafi. So first of all, our main question, tell us more about you and about your experience.
Sure. First, really thank you to Muhammad and to you and everybody else. It's been, we've done numerous activities together and we stayed always in contact, and things will always prosper in different ways whenever you are
fighting together in this country.
Yeah, as well. So we're all stuck in the same place.
Yeah, exactly.
But when we're trying to make the most out of it. So yeah, I've been almost 20 years now for me in the IT domain. I started in regular IT support, softwares and hardware, and things evolved with time into implementing ERPs and learning what's behind the ERP and how the users work on the ERP. Then implementing reporting systems, BI and CRMs, and a lot of things. When you implement an ERP, you learn that you have to interact with everybody in the company. It is not a simple development. It's not an application development. It's real interaction. It's a business interaction. It's real interaction with every contributor and every employee in a company. And with their suppliers and their customers at the same time. So you learn a lot of things. On the job, I learned accounting, I learned shipping, I learned warehousing, so many things along the way, and that's the beautiful experience of ERP. And that's how you learn, and that's how you benefit your contributors and your colleagues everywhere. So I've done my PhD in artificial intelligence in parallel to that IT management experience. And recently I've been applying my PhD research and artificial intelligence through regular business needs. That's a trend within the last couple of years that emerged, and the research using now it has its application on the real market. So that's even very interesting in itself.
So thanks for your introduction. Maybe we have to direct to our
الضجة من عندك ما بعرف. أنا عملت unmute so راحت كل في شيء. You talk في شيء غلط يمكن السبيكر just make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, can you just try again? هلا أنا عم بسمع الصوت تبعك غلط. وافي عم تسمعه صح؟
No, it's
لا عنا كلنا انه مش مسموع الصوت.
You might need to disconnect and reconnect again, Sinar.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe. Sorry, I have to disconnect. Sorry.
Okay, so I was just
say that again. Repeat again. راحت.
تاخد second. So until that time, yes, and I would like to just to bold something قلتها كثير مهمة وافي. The fact of working on ERP, it will help you to enter in every business part inside the company and different industries. And I think what you are combining now, the artificial intelligence at the end, and we took 20 years of experience in ERP, so you know a lot of industries, a lot of business, you know a lot of challenges, problem. You bring this artificial intelligence. I think you are أنت عاملة نادرة، يعني أنت مهم كثير يجوا لعندك عن جد، لأنه أنت بتعرف كثير challenges و problems. So أنت عندك كثير أفكار ل artificial intelligence تطبق. So if they will start taking what you have collected as experience from all before about the challenges and the problems, and you start finding their solution in AI, we will feel very safe.
True. It's about understanding. Yeah, exactly. The ERP is always the most important part of the ERP is helping the business do their job. Do their job in an effective way and help the business understand what's happening on the ground. And along the way, there is lots and lots of problems and constraints and complications, and even everything is working fine. Second day, things would crumble. So, yeah, combining.
ما في بس نحن حبينا in every session to take like a definition. What is ERP for you? I think this is the first question until is back. So, what is ERP for Wafi? بغض النظر, we don't want to talk about dictionary or Wikipedia or for Wafi ERP. The ugly name, and I call it always ugly. Enterprise resource planning.
It is.
It's ugly. We need to change.
Can I share my screen? Yeah. Can I share my screen?
Sure. I have to give you security
permission. Yes.
Sorry, 1 second. So one sharing option. All participants. Okay. So you have it now, I think.
Okay. Fine. And that's the presentation, and that's your ugly name, enterprise resource planning. We've all learned what is this ERP and why it is called enterprise resource planning. What am I planning?
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, if you are going into the real definition of it, it's what has started. The ERP started for big companies, by big companies. So that was the main target at the beginning. And then to manage their own resources. Okay, what sort of resources? It's their cash, their money, their employees or manpower, material, machinery, workshops, marketing events, processes, workflows. All of these are things that a company is managing, and they could be aggregated into the definition of a resource, and they need to properly manage that resource in an optimal way in order to achieve the results, or at least to understand what's happening. The thing is, the ERP really started for big companies, but along the way, it is not anymore for big companies. It's for each and every company. They absolutely need a system called ERP in a way or another. Even what I was reading recently, 1% startup company needs an ERP, and he needs it more even than the big ones, because he needs to see what's happening with him, what he's doing. So
I like the resource part that you have defined here. Oh, these are طول بيسألوا planning resource. What resource?
What resource and what's planning? Why do I plan? Because you have to plan in order to understand that you have. And what I recently told one of my customers, the advantage of a CRM, which is not our topic, but the advantage of a CRM was, for the first time, one of my customers told me, the first time I'm able to see my pipeline. to visualize my pipeline. Okay, I have that amount of money that might come or not. And that's the planning side of an ERP. In order to plan what you have now, what you might have in the future, or what might not happen in the future. And that's the most important part of the ERP. The sales order itself is a planning tool. Is something planning to sell. So it is sales order.
So here we can find how can ERP help the business.
Exactly. Well, there's lots of definitions. There's lots of components or modules or what's in an ERP, what's inside it in real. Well, I compiled, this is a very short thing about it. So usually the most important part of an ERP, and everybody wants an ERP first for their sales management. They start, I want to manage my sales. I want to create a quotation. I want to send a sales order. I want to invoice it. So yeah, I want sales management. But along the way, okay, what are you selling? Are you selling products, commodities, services? You need to plan your supply chain, if you have a supply chain, coming over to buy products, to store products, and resell them to your customers. So you need to properly know what are you purchasing, from who are you purchasing, what time you're expected to receive them, where are you going to store them? Are you going to store them in a regular warehouse, in a freezer, in a cold, or in a radioactive safe warehousing technique? So each one has their own ways. And if you are not working in products, you would be, well, sometimes you need to produce your own product for the manufacturing people, or even package. Sometimes you buy product A, product B, you package them in a product C, and you sell product C. So that's as well, it is production. And that's the simplest, what we call the box and the discrete manufacturing, up to the really complicated chemical manufacturing of products, which takes months to produce one batch of products. And all about planning. You need to know, you need to understand your capacity. So how much you can produce during a year, you know how much you can sell. If your customer tells you he wants 1 million boxes of something, and your production plant is not able to produce those 1 million boxes, you will not be able to honor your customer request. So you need to properly know.
So just when we talk about ERP planning and in enterprise usage planning, when you started to explain the benefits of the main modules, it's the first time you mentioned planning. So just to make it clear for the, is it only for planning or for management? Or when they use the planning part, بتطلع أنت إنه there is a part for planning for sure. You want to plan better all your process, production, say, but at the end when you start sales management, you start to execute, and the ERP is something needed also for operations, right?
It is. It is. That's why I said the sales order, which the dumb, simple sales order by itself is a planning tool, because in it you are writing in your system, in your database, that you are planning to sell these products at these prices to this customer. So that's the planning part. And then when you actually deliver it, you mark that this plan has been executed. So I delivered. And then you create an invoice. So you mark in your system that you are going to invoice your customer, or you are going to wait for payment, and hopefully this payment will come. And then you plan for the payment, and you plan for your cash. So the word planning includes as well executing the plan, and saying and knowing when this plan is going to be executed, or is it going to be executed as per the plan, or it's modified. Many times, let's say if my customer wants 100 boxes of something, and along the way he wanted more, or change his mind, he wants less, that's again changing the plan. And we know we need to track that this plan has changed for a certain reason or another, in order to plan the next phase with that same or other customers.
Exactly.
If we know that this customer is not paying enough or paying on time, we need to plan that next time we have to ask him to pay beforehand, not afterwards. So it's all about planning.
And this is very important also for everybody who will watch also this session later, that the plan has to be inside our discipline in every action. We don't just bring the invoice and register it It's not anymore an accounting system that you, after you finish your, at the end of the day, there is a lot of people, they use ERP and they register, they log entries after it is completion. It has to be planned, before it is happening. It has to be as a strategic, and this is very important. وافي أول مرة حدا بيجي بيعطينا this is real and accurate is about that explanation, and this is the beauty of the experience and the people that will hear this explanation. So the plan, it has to be in everything.
It has to be in everything. And exactly, as you have said it, many people confuse ERP with accounting. Exactly. And if you think of an accounting system, they will think that they want to do it at the end of the year, not at the end of the day, even at the end of the month.
Period.
At the end of the year, he will shift, he will send a pile of documents to his accountant or auditor, and please account for that. And that's, I will tell you what will happen at the end of the presentation, what happened to those particular people. One of my customers, one time he told me, I don't want the full system. I just want you to build an invoice for me. I want to get paid out of it. That's not right. That's not the objective. If you and that particular customer made big mistakes later on, because he was selling, and he was selling nice millions in sales, but he's not collecting on time, and he has to pay his customers. At the end of the day, when he was not playing correctly, we created a BI tool for him to show him that the graph of your receivables and payables, when are you paying your customers, when your customers are paying you, and when you have to pay your suppliers. The end of it is that he had to borrow from the bank millions of dollars just to finance his operation because he was not managing it properly on time. So those who don't plan will fail. That's a rule of life. If you don't plan, you will fail, and that's no way out of that. So that's why you need a system, and ERP is not an accounting system. And unfortunately, lots of people, they make that particular mistake. It's not about creating a trial balance at the end of the year and knowing, okay, how much I have taxes and how much I won, how much my net profit, it is not only the net profit. The net profit is the result of a full year of work. You need to work the full year to optimize your profit during each and every day during the 365 days in order to reach profit at the end of the year, a correct one.
Correct. And the difference between planning and executing, it's not, when you have an ERP, you have to shift your mentality until you plan. I will sell 1,000, then you monitor if you sell. It's not about only waiting to see how much I sold this month. It has to be planned, and start to put objective goals, target, and analyze this.
Exactly. That's the phase of after starting to enter the data of the year of happenings and what happened and all the invoices. You will learn that, okay, I'm planning those invoices, I'm planning my sales, I'm planning my costs, and I have to, my next exercise would be to plan my next year's budget. If I don't have actual data of at least the last year or a few years before, I will not be able to budget, and my budget will be just okay, something.
Yes, it's like guessing.
It's a wish. It would be a wish. It will not be a budget. It's not the same.
Exactly.
So again, people will learn this on the job and will learn from experience. And many of them created their budget, and it was only wishful thinking, and they never ever reached their budget because it was not based on facts.
Exactly. Sorry.
Thanks, Wafi, for your explanation, for the clear explanation. So,
Sinar, can I ask a question?
Sure.
يعطيك العافية دكتور وافي. كيفك؟
Thank you, Hassan.
Thank you. Awashi, it's very, very informative to hear you speak about ERP solutions. I have a question that I ran into in some of the projects that we've done for ERP, and I think the most module that we ran into problems with is the production planning module. It's very complicated. It's a very complicated process for some productions. My question to you is, do you agree that this module should be used within the ERP solution, or if it makes things more complicated, do you agree to use an outside solution, an external solution for production, specifically for production? Because I faced it in, let's give you an example. For example, a printing company, okay, an offset printing company, or a box printing company. Like they have certain calculations, they have certain measures that they have to take. Sometimes they're not accounted for in an ERP solution, and sometimes they're very hard to customize. So do you agree using an outside solution for production, or to use the module internally? I know the benefits of using it internally, obviously, but I just want to see your thoughts on that. Thank you.
So I will add to that the question, Wafi, هيك بتجاوبها سوا انه do you agree that ERP it must be one solution, or it could be sometimes different products to manage to give the user at the end layout one solution? So بس جاوبنا يمكن انا وغسان هيك ساعات.
Sure, I agree. That same exactly, Muhammad. That question is the same asked about the production planning, which is Ghassan's point, which is very true. Many times it's outside, but it also applies to CRM. It also applies to project management. There is no rule. It's about, okay, ideally everybody wants to have one system. It's easier. I don't need to work about integration. I don't want to think about integration. They are all integrated together. I'm on ease of mind. Yet the problem is sometimes the choice of ERP, maybe it was wrong at the beginning. So that was not accounted for, that part. Or sometimes I will show you in the next screen how to choose an ERP. And when choosing the ERP, again, it should be a measurable exercise to see if I use ERP 1, how much customizations I have to add on top of it to reach what I want, versus ERP number 2. Sometimes ERP number 1 and ERP number 2, which are available on the market and with suppliers, do not answer all my needs. I have to go to a third software and work on integration together. There's no one answer to this. Sometimes your ERP is able to do your production planning with some degree of customizations, and for some sort of businesses, it's completely. It will cost 3 times the cost of the ERP in order to implement the production planning inside that ERP. And at that case, at that moment, you have to absolutely go to do your planning outside, and then work on integration or feeding back the plan into the system in a way or another. The cost many times is the main driver in this.
Because my other concern also is that sometimes for production, you need to be an expert in that certain field in order to customize and to implement certain measures and to implement certain calculations. Sometimes you don't have that expertise in your team to do it.
Definitely, yes. Many times. And I will tell you, well, most of the ERP implementers will not know what we call in French connaissance métier. It's the business itself, the core of the science of the business of the customer. When you are a trade, it's easy. You don't need to learn. Everybody understands what's a trade, buy in, buy out, and that's easy. When you're talking about production planning, yes, you need to understand 100% the science of your customer and the science of his manufacturing process in order to do the planning. When it is, whether it is packaging, whether it is printing, whether it is iron, whether it is chemical or pharmaceutical process. And you don't find that in a regular, and I would say in a common ERP implementer. Sometimes you have to go to specialized ERP implementers with your verticals. So again, when the choice of ERP, you might need sometimes not to go to Microsoft or SAP or the big ones. You'd go to an ERP that is specialized in your business model, that would have the knowledge, the business knowledge of the planning or of your own business already built inside it. And that would be a smarter move in that case. But that ERP will not have the other modules, obviously, but it's not a full thing. And then you integrate it.
Okay, so here let us, we don't have to run off time, so actually I'm gonna go through, yeah, we have a lot to discuss.
ساعتين مع
Yes.
وافي اليوم 18 بارتيسيبنت بتقول يعني
Wow.
قدامنا الرقم القياسي
I'm
وبدنا
happy.
نستفيد من الوقت قد ما فينا فشوي ايه
Sure.
اوكي
I will move quickly. So
Yeah, it's okay.
just to
So
complete the circle,
yes.
I will say that you need to have project management as well. It's part of an ERP. It can be a part of ERP to manage your customer's project and tasks and contracts and change management. You also need to manage your services, your after-sales services, your assets, your rentals, your equipments in the ERP to know what you have, what machine you have to keep, what machine you have to replace, what machine you are paying maintenance for it in your plant. Obviously, you need to manage your human capital, your employees, from an HR point of view, from a payroll point of view, which many times is outside the ERP, but sometimes it's inside. So again, the question is the same for all. Definitely at the end, all these modules should embark into the financial and should feed the financial part, because that's what matters at the end. We need to understand our financials and to monitor closely our financials on time before things get out of hand and before starting to lose money. So every module, if it's inside or outside the ERP, it has to have a monetary value that is feeding your financials at the end of the day. The last module, which is the CRM, I kept it to the end specifically because, again, sometimes it can be outside the ERP, but the role of the CRM in one sentence is to show you what the promise of your future sales, what you might be able to sell in the future. And that's the main goal of the CRM, along with many other things. So some ERPs, they already have it inside, some ERPs don't have it.
Okay, dear. So you have to cover. You have covered this slide, or you have to add something.
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay, dear. Yes. So you said that we have sometimes models to be integrated with ERP. So one of them we'll talk it, and the main topic of our session today is the BI. So briefly, can you tell us what is BI? Can you define it for us as first?
Sure.
Yeah.
I will show the BI. Well, okay, let me go to the BI. So the definition of a business intelligence, it's a set of applications. It might not be one app. It's a set of applications that are used to collect raw data from the different sources and transform them into business insights. So we understand what's happening, and to understand what happened, and in order to take a fact-based decision for the future. And that's the main goal of a BI, but it is not a report. If I go to one step back, if I list all my modules and all my functions within an ERP, each module have their own set of reports, but this is not business intelligence. And business intelligence is usually not inside the ERP. In 90% of the cases, it's an outside app. Its role is to gather data from the ERP and from many other systems and present them in a very different way. I will show you the difference between ERP and the business intelligence.
One of my main questions, the difference between ERP and BI.
Sure. In the ERP, you store what we call transactional data. What happened, what I sold, what I will sell, what are the products, the quantities, the values. So these are transactional to say what happened in the system. In a business intelligence, I store, again, what happened, maybe presented in a different way, but the main important part that I add on top of it is
what recording means on Zoom.
Sorry?
I'm recording. Did I talk? Maybe.
Okay. So the main difference between the data that I'm still storing in the ERP and within the business intelligence is the target part, and which many people forget. Many people create reports in the ERP or create reports in the business intelligence, which are nice dashboards, but they forget the main important reason of the business intelligence is to compare actual versus a certain target, compare historical data, year over year data, in order to be able to set a certain budget, to set a certain expectation or forecast or target. And that's that's a very important part. In engineering schools, they teach the engineers that every action has a response at the end of it. But okay, did it do the actual job that I asked it for it? If I'm pressing a button, did the button do its job? I have to measure if it did its job or not. So I have to put a target, and then I have to do the action, and I have to compare them together. And that's the role of business intelligence. Another difference is that the ERP is organized in modules, which is, okay, sales, purchase, stock, inventory, whatever it is, accounting, and all of these are modules. In business intelligence, I organize them into measures and dimensions. So a measure could be my sales, which is everybody understand, okay, I'm measuring my sales versus which dimension. So my sales versus customers versus geographies versus products versus time versus business units. Each of these, I want to see my sales from different angle. And this is what we call dimensions and measures. And this is what makes the role of the business intelligence is to create what we call multi-dimensional cube, in which you turn the view in any way that you want. I want to see sales versus geography. No, I want to see purchases or stock versus products or volumes, or I want to see the occupancy of my warehouse and things like that. Those are measures and their axes that you will draw on your chart. So that's the second line. In ERP, you have reports by function. So what we call functional report, operational reports, the total sales, the employees' attendance, the trial balance, whatever, a functional report. Whereas in business intelligence, I gather reports or measures from different angles, from transversal data, and I put them together in one complete dashboard. And I see at the glance, my total profit versus my sales by top product versus my sales by top customer versus my inventory capacity versus my planning, my planned capacity. So they are not related data, they are completely irrelated, but I need to see them together in order to understand my business. I have a promise of sales. My CRM is telling me that I might have a sales of 1 million boxes, but my plant is already full. So even if my sales is coming, my plant is full, I'm not able to honor it. I need to finish my unfinished jobs in order to be able to take that capacity. So again, the planning part is needed within this dashboard. Typically, any ERP is not able and is not made to show this transversal data in that way. They will all the vendors will tell you that they have BI inside their ERP, but it is bullshit at the end. Thank you. The reality is it's a different tool, and it's a different view of the data.
So Wafi, I know this was a quick question inside this. The BI يعني nobody can إذا بدك يجادل على فكرة إنه it's very 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 interesting. The only risk or challenge بشوفها بعدها لهلا إنه the numbers that you are going to show, the analysis, the way the analysis that you are going to show in the BI, who can decide them, especially that you are not always the industry expert. Okay, so who can define greatly these dashboards that for this BI? So the question.
Sure. Ideally, if your customer knows what he wants, your customer will tell you. But which one of your customer is typically your CEO, the customer CEO, the customer CFO, the customer head of sales, head of marketing, the senior management of a company are the first ones I ask, what do you want to see in your company? How do you see your company? How do you analyze your company? That's my first question always. Even when I start an ERP project, I ask these particular people, how do you want to see how do you want to analyze your company performance in order to feed the ERP the data that is needed to feed the BI at the end of the day? That's why I ask that question to these people. When they know what they want. Many people don't know what they want.
Exactly. This is the problem. This is the problem, or this is the problem.
It is a problem, and depends on the ERP implementer in face of you. If you as a customer don't know what you want, if the one in front of you also don't know anything about your business, he will implement anything, and he will sell you anything. He will draw a chart and this is business intelligence, go live with it, and you'll be happy with it, and you will pay, but you'll not understand anything.
Will not help you in anything
at all. If you don't know what you want, and you have in front of you someone who has wide experience in multiple businesses, he will know, he will guide you. Many times, my customer would not know a lot of what he wants. So I understand their business. I sit with them. I interview the CEO, the CFO, the head of sales, the users themselves. I interview the smallest, the youngest user on the bench, on the computer. What are you doing and how are you doing it? And then I create a certain view. I understand their business in a certain way. It's never complete, not from the first time for sure. But based on my understanding, I start designing, if I was their manager, what I want to see about their business. So I draw a certain dashboard and I present it to them. The beauty of it is that once you present it, once you are confident enough and you present your BI dashboard to your customer, then he starts to ask questions, and then he starts to learn what he could use and what he wants and what he could want in the future. Okay, I can see that. No, he did not know that he could see these informations face to face and understand that, okay, I have to measure, I have to follow my receivables and payables in order not to lose money at the end of the day. Before, he did not know. So you need someone who is, you need to do two choices. You need to choose your ERP, and you need to really know and to choose your vendor correctly, the implementer, I'd say, that he will help you make a successful project at the end of the day.
Totally agree.
So, sorry, excuse me, Mr. Wafi, thank you for the explanation, but I was thinking of something. It would be helpful, I don't know if you have examples of, live examples of what the BI can actually show us. Because from my understanding from our studies back in university and at work, what you understand from business intelligence is that, for example, in a normal ERP, you have the dashboards, you have the charts, you have all that can show you the 3D model of information. You can link data together because it is stored in a transactional manner. But this is the limit of what it shows you. In BI, you take this 3D, you take this link between all the data and you store it as a linked data and as cubes, from multiple, and this is where you do the analysis. The difference is that you are doing in BI an analysis, over the linking. It's a second level of information. It's a higher level of analysis for data, and it's a deeper level of perspective. Maybe I don't know for all the attendants, but I think it would be nice if you can show us something the difference for what BI can actually show us.
I will show you in the next slide. It's ready. And your question is exactly that. In the ERP, the data is a flat structure. It's what we call in database relational databases. Normalized relational database, classic. Every computer science and computer engineering knows what's that. Okay, the business don't know what is that, but that's the technical, we know that. So it's the tables and linked tables together. Whether in the BI, it's organized in a pyramid where you have a low level of data and aggregations and analysis and KPIs and measurables, up to budgets and to reach insights. The plan is in the ERP, you have data in. The job of the ERP is to enter data inside it. The job of the business intelligence is to get insights out of it. So this is in, this is out.
Yes, and there's one more thing. I think it's the nice thing about BI, it doesn't take as long as the normal analysis, because you can build very complex queries, for example, to build your analysis. But BI, because it stores the data in an already linked manners and or aggregated manner, so it really saves a lot of time for the results to show up.
But I will tell you my personal experience. Before knowing the BI, I was doing my reports, my business performance reports from the ERP. So I was extracting the queries and reports from the actual SQL database. And each query was, for each report, it was taking around 5 to 10 minutes to produce data. And then I learned about BI. That was 18 years ago or 16 years ago, that I learned that, oh, okay, there's a different system called BI that denormalizes the data, as you said it, and it present the data in a way that is much easier and much quicker to be consumed and to be driven out on a report. And that's, again, one of the powers of the BI. And to show a brief, that's a simple dashboard on the screen now. That simple dashboard is showing, okay, key figures, total sales, profit percentage, contribution to my profit coming from which entities, my net sales during the year, how is it progressing, my cash flow, sales by entity, sales by region, my inventory, how it's moving, my receivables, how they are moving. Those are all data that different charts that you cannot draw simply in Excel, and you cannot draw in ERP for sure. You need a proper system that's aggregating data, that is correlating them, that is gathering those dimensions from different ways and presenting them in the cube, and then you create different dashboards from the same view in order to have one big view of your company. And you see, okay, where I have problems in cash, my cash is always negative, most of the time is negative. I have a problem here, but well, okay, my sales seems to be up, but well, my receivables also are seem to be now, yeah. So there's different. There are two things. The first part is presenting the dashboard to the management, and then when they see the numbers and you explain their numbers, usually that first reaction is that the numbers are wrong. No, my business is not like that. Yes, no, your business is like that. That's reality. The second, and then when he accepts that, okay, this is his business and this is his bad performance, now they start to ask questions, why? When they start to ask questions, why, we develop, out of this one dashboard, we developed 40 dashboards. We have a product, we designed the product, what we call analytics as a service. In it, I have 40 performance dashboards are together all linked based on data behind them. And those 40 dashboards, they've been built based on questions. So each time your customer will ask a question, you create a dashboard to show him and to continue to show him each and every month the progress of that KPI, and along and along and along and along. So this is part of what things happen in a business intelligence. And if I go back one more step to show you, one step before, to show you the types of business intelligence, because they are not the same. What usually always happens is you start with asking the question of what happened, which a simple report will tell you about that. And then you start asking, the next phase will start, how many, how often? Now you need to have more analysis to see how many times you are selling that product. How often are you selling that product? Is it a fast moving product or a slow moving product? I should not spending too much time on promoting slow moving products. I need maybe I need to let go of those slow moving products and focus more on my fast moving products, or different. My fast moving products are already going alone and they are growing on their own perfectly. I need to focus my effort on my slow moving products in order to transform them into fast moving products. So these kind of questions and answers that come out of your BI, and then how much and where, again, that's all in reporting. The next step would be using the BI to do forecasting, to do what could happen in the future based on my historical data, based on my growth year over year, month over month. What might be my forecast if no COVID-19 happens in the middle of the year, of course. Then you develop predictive modeling. Again, as part of the BI or business analytics, it's the same. Business intelligence or business analytics, they are used interchangeably. But forecasting, predicting, it's not. Forecasting is when you create, based on facts, you create your own forecast and estimations of the future. Predictive is that when you use machine learning or other statistical tools to tell you that the system will predict your sales for you in the future, or your consumption, or your demand. in order at the end of the day, the system will help you to optimize your planning, your systems, and your resources.
Hello.
Sure.
I just have a question. When you talk about prediction, are you still talking about BI or we moved into artificial intelligence?
It's the domain of artificial intelligence usually.
All right, so prediction is not BI.
Some BI vendors, they have the predictive AI models inside them. So if you are going into, let's say, IBM sort of analytics, or even Oracle, they also have that. So within their BI offering, they have components to help building the predictive modeling and the predictive tools in order to come out of prediction for the future.
Like you integrate Watson?
Yes. Yes, exactly, like Watson.
So what about Microsoft?
Microsoft, they have their AI engines, but it is not inside their BI. What they have in their Power BI is not really predictive modeling. They are enhancing it greatly, and they have part of it, but it is not as powerful as IBM Watson. IBM Watson is far more mature in the part of AI.
Microsoft, they have like services inside Azure, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Haitham. Actually, so thanks for the explanation again. So what a BI system integrated with ERP can do for more for our businesses?
Well, I will tell you what it cannot do if it was not there.
Yeah, I have this question also, yes.
So I will answer it in a different way. Instead of answering what will happen if you, what benefit you will get if you have them both, I will tell you what things will happen if you don't have them both, or if you don't have them together.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
A real-time enterprise without a real-time business intelligence and analytics is a real, fast, dumb organization. And I love that. I love that saying.
I like this. I will take a screenshot.
You can. It's
Yes.
not me.
You can share with us the presentations to share it with the attendees. Yeah,
Definitely.
thank
We
you.
are getting a lot of requests during the session that you need the video, because I tell them, guys,
yes.
You're most welcome.
We will have all material, inshallah.
As I told you, many times I was called by a CFO of a company to help him build the BI tool for his management in order to show them how bad they are performing. The guy was telling them, guys, we are bad, we are not good, but
he cannot justify.
Yes, he was not able to show them in a visual way how bad the situation is, until we put the BI inside and we showed the results, and people said, oh my God.
بدنا اياها لكل الدولة هيدي وافي دخيلك يعني public sector.
It's simple. The public sector has to start by budgeting correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a budgeting system. That's another part of.
I think Muhammad, that would be the most complicated BI in history.
They need to start. I told you the government in Lebanon, they need to start in the budgeting tool.
بدك real data أول شيء وافي معك.
Yes. The data they have it. You would be amazed that they have data.
Yeah, they have, but
they have a real. Yeah.
They have data, and I've seen it many times. But it is spread. Sometimes it's immature. Sometimes it's not complete. Sometimes it has lots of empty things inside it, which is normal. There is no BI project without half of the time of it is cleaning data.
Just a quick question. Sorry, Muhammad. Do you think data cleansing? Now that we're talking, do you think data cleansing is something that should be done in the very, very, very early stages of implementing a BI solution? And who should it be done with? Like, who should it be done by? Because sometimes the customer gives you just, any data, exactly. So this is what I have. This Excel is what I have. This is what I have reports. So when do you think this should be done, and who should be doing this
Sure.
activity?
First, in any BI project, the first phase is asking the management, what do you want to see, how your business is working, what do you do, what do you sell, how do you sell it, and how do you pay for that. Once you understand the business, and then you go to the IT, tell him, okay, give me the data that I understood that you are doing. And then you will see that, okay, this data is rubbish. Cleansing it and cleansing it is a mutual effort between the BI implementer, when he is good enough, and it's normal, it's his job to do it, along with a lot of help of the internal IT team. The customer IT team also know their data, know their business. They are much more, they know their data much better than their BI implementer. And they will tell their BI implementer that, okay, no, this data is wrong. It is not business correct from a business point of view to have this kind of product in this location. It's wrong. It has been wrongly entered somewhere, and there is another entry some other way that's reversing that one, and the third one in a different location that is correcting it. So please disregard those two. This is a common effort between the implementer and the local IT team.
Yep.
And sometimes it's even the IT team, the internal IT team, who does it. It depends on the cases. But in order to do it, you need to see it in one location. So sometimes your BI implementer will pick this data, will put it in his BI database, and he will show you the raw data back to the IT team. And then, okay, this is what I got at the end. I will run a few quick analysis to show you the outcome of that. And dear IT team, go inside it and tell me if that's true or wrong. And that's the job of cleansing. At that moment it starts. It's not at the very early. I would say sometimes at the beginning, sometimes at midway. Depends on cases. But if you don't show it, if you don't see a table of your data, you cannot clean it. And sometimes the report will tell you.
Yeah, it is really interesting. أكيد لازم يعرفوا إنه it is a must to clean your data. Otherwise, you will have something not. But the timing, as you said, it should be sometimes could be in the beginning and at the end, and it is mutual. يعني شغلة مهمة كتير about for every project. So في حدا بس عم بيسألنا في أودات مشان ال company providing CRM integration. So we talked, I think, I don't know if we are covering today CRM, but if you can just send us more clear the question, so at the end Wafi can answer. نحن بس sorry مشان to manage the time. نحن بعد في كان معنا مفروض يكون 6 minutes بس حنزيد شوي بس لأنه كتير مهم التوبيك وكتير مهم. أنا حسألك سؤال بس أنت بتشوف قد إيه فيك تسرع فيه ولا لا. لما نقول business intelligence system يعني نحن we are talking about يعني system للاشخاص اللي يمكن it could be software, it could be solution, it could be product, it could be انا سؤالي اليوم البزنس انتليجنس يعني على طول as an ERP implementer او شخص بيشتغل بالبزنس solutions بحاول اقنع العالم انه the concept of ERP is to have one solution, one database. Okay, you might have different tools, but my question is, do you think Wafi, we always need a BI software specialized in BI that we use it for our ERP, or the ERP in a way or another with much of efforts can do the work if you implement all this mentality or concept of BI inside ERP? Cannot?
No, it cannot. Okay. All the vendors of ERP claim that they have a BI engine inside it, exactly. one way or another. They all want this additional feature, but in reality, it is not capable because
Excel
yes, that's for sure. Excel is not BI. The second thing, of course, it's a tool to explore Excel and to calculate, but it's not BI.
Charting.
It's a charting and super calculator, but it is not a BI. In BI, you need to be able to play with the data and turn them around and correlate data that are not linked through relational tables in between them.
Exactly. And this is
the ERP does not know how to do that. Does not know how to do that. And it's never his job. And many times people try to do it inside it, but it will always fail because of the way the ERP and the BI are organized. the organization of data in the ERP is so much different than what the BI is capable and has to do. Or else you will have to wait an hour for each dashboard to come out.
Timing, exactly. Can you promise us, Wafi, that you are going to do it like a session, ما بعرف إذا كان 1 hour بس يعني Lama, she requested if you can see also some what the capability of business intelligence. I know you have a lot of examples. What the BI can do that the ERP will never be able to do. It could be nice a session to do this. ما بعرف إذا حيهاجمونا هلا كل ال ERP providers ويمنعونا نعمل سيشن بس بنخبيك بمحل قبل ما نطلع لايف.
It's okay. It's okay. No, it's no problem.
Okay.
I'm always ready, and I'm always happy to.
We will plan it. We promise everybody that we will plan. We are going to do it. It could be within the schedule of every Wednesday, or it could be an additional extra session that we. Thank you again, Wafi, from now about this complimentary, efforts from you. Sinar, you manage it the rest of the time.
Yes. Our last question was about the value of BI and ERP software. So if you can brief it in one sentence, if you like, the value of BI in ERP.
Sure,
2 minutes.
Sure, it's yes. Well, your BI will tell you the value of your business, what's wrong in your business and what's good in your business. The ERP will tell you what you are doing, and it will help you do and put the right data inside the ERP in order to produce the data in the BI at the end. As it is, the ERP is used for data in, the BI is used for insights out. And many times I tell my customers, a successful BI project is only successful when it gives you really bad news. When you are seeing bad news is if you are paying $100,000 for a BI project, and at the end of the day he will tell you that you have a problem in this location and you fix it, you already have your return of investment from the first month. On month 1, you got your ROI done. If it's giving you really bad news.
For Lebanese, Wafi, special request كمان ما بعرف you manage. What can you recommend for business owners today with this complicated situation? Because we have different challenges, okay? And it's taking into consideration the dollar problems and international BI providers. يعني هيك I think from a person with experience in the market صار لك 20 years, شو بتنصحن للبزنس اونرز اليابانيين سبيشالي ويمكن وورلد وايد في قصص كومن بس انه عن جد نحن do you recommend what to do in this period هيدي personal يعني
you can start with lightweight BI. You don't have to pay for IBM or SAP or Oracle hundreds of thousands of dollars to implement your BI. You can do that in tools like Microsoft Power BI or SAS or other smaller things that don't cost a lot of money in terms of licenses, but you will always have to pay the service. You have to pay your service provider. You need to correctly choose your service provider. Your BI is not a web development application. Your ERP as well is not a web development application, with all my respect to every developers. It's a business analysis thing. You need someone who knows who can understand your business or who can learn your business to model it correctly and to show you a certain outcome at the end of the day. But you have to go there. That's the only way to prevent problems in the future. You need to see and to forecast properly what you have to do. If you are not seeing your dashboard, you'll be blind.
Exactly. So it will help them.
Excuse me, Mr. Wafi.
Sure.
Sorry, Mr. Wafi, I have a question. When do you think it is the right time for a business to start investing in BI? At what level? Is it for medium businesses? When do you really advise businesses to start investing in BI?
The time has like size لما يعني ولا
couple of
يعني ايه size and إنه size of business.
عمر الشركة.
Maybe it's not at the beginning when you can really get a real benefit from BI to get a real amount of data. What size? يعني I'm really interested to know which businesses do you really advise to start getting and investing in BI?
All business need BI, that's for sure. Now, when to start implementing your BI, is well, you need at least a certain 1 year or 2 years of data inside your system in order to produce certain outcomes at the end of the day. And I usually, many times, I implemented the BI couple of months after finishing the ERP.
Yeah, so GRP in the beginning, they have to start with GRP. Then it comes when they have 1 year data, 2 years data, they start. BI it could be very.
Yes, but the main thing, but when I do my interview, I always ask them, what do you want to see in the BI 2 years later in order to put them in the ERP today?
Exactly.
They are enchained projects. It's true,
Related.
they are two different projects, but they are related.
Yeah, exactly.
If my customer doesn't tell me that he wants to analyze his sales by customer category, I will not put the customer category field in his ERP, and then it will be missing.
Okay, so do you think there should be a certain volume of business, for example, to counter for the value that they pay for it? Because if they have to pay for the ERP and then they have to invest also in the BI, there has to be a certain return on investment. True. Do you need a certain volume of business to counter and really benefit from that to say that this is a proper investment?
It's not about the volume of the business or the turnover of the business, their total sales. It's about, you can always find a tool, an adequate tool to your size. So if you are a multi-million-dollar company, you can afford IBM or SAP or Oracle. If you are a small company, you need a very light thing just to give you hints of your sales. Everybody needs to understand what are my best performing products and what are my worst performing products. Everybody needs to know who are my best customers and who are my worst customers and why. And everybody needs to know and to flag the customer who is not paying on time. So even a small startup with a couple of users, with a couple of employees, need a mini size BI in order to steer them. And I would say even more. That's why, okay, I don't want to promote it, but the idea, I have a service, I'm offering a service of analytics as a service and finance as a service in order to help those small companies. Okay, you cannot afford to implement the BI, you don't have the resources or the time needed to implement the BI and the ERP. I can do that for you, and I will give you the results as a service. I will implement it in my systems. I will implement the BI. I will pick up data. I will store them. I will analyze them, and I will show you the result at the end of it, so you don't fail, so you don't lose your cash. And for startups, mainly startups, the main important thing that they have to do planning for is their cash flow.
Exactly.
Not just implement, I think also manage the BI tool as well.
True. That's why I created that service.
You need to be always dynamic in your reports and your data.
I have a couple of customers now who each month I produce their performance dashboard, and we go to them and we show them their performance, and we do the business review analysis with them each and every month.
سؤال كمان بس يمكن that helps the others how to think. The company that they are doing well, they need the BI, or they are doing bad, they need the BI, or doesn't?
Both of them need, and the company who's doing bad needs the BI more than the company who's doing good.
But even the company that they are doing good, they can bring the BI to do more, to do better, to maybe profitability.
As I told you, the ROI of a BI is very easy. It's an extremely short ROI when you look at one bad figure and you find it. And even if it's $1 million implementation of an ERP, it will be paid by finding that your machines are overloaded, which you were not able to see before.
Let's not forget, Muhammad, even if you're doing good, you have to maintain this course, and you have to know what you're doing good. What are you doing good in, and to maintain it and improve it, maybe.
If you are really doing good or not. You can see profit.
Those KPIs help you. That's what those reports help you in that dashboard.
People usually, no one will tell you that I'm doing bad. Everybody will think that he's doing good. But when you show the figures to them, then he would be stunned many times.
It is implemented in bad days or good days, or
well, you need to implement it good or bad, you need to implement it. Even in bad days. In bad days, in my idea is more important, because we need to plan in order not to get out of the market, not to lose, not to fail.
We need to plan. Wafi, it's a message for all Lebanese, and I send it for my friends. And guys, stop criticizing, stop إذا بدك بينكتوا كتير. Start planning for your future and the future of your kids. In Lebanon, we need to plan. We need to plan, whether with BI or with this mentality. بس عن جد.
It's a very we're not planning.
In business, we are not planning. We don't have numbers. We don't put.
There's a saying. There's a saying in business that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
I think it's a very good saying. You know,
the big names in Lebanon, they are doing business بالفطرة بقولوا باللبناني إنه because they have the charisma, they have good relation. They brought these big brands in the beginning, so they made money. They continue, but they can make much better business. And if everybody was planning, like you said from the beginning of this session, وافي كنا اليوم نحن عم نعمل production، ما كنا عم نعمل service. And
we would not be only a service company, a service country.
كنا نحن على production. We saw that we have a problem with production. Sorry, it is one of the greatest. خليني أكون ما بدي مش مجامل. Sorry معلم. It is the greatest session. It's very important صراحة. أنا حبيت لأنه it's a combination between two topics كتير مهمين. ودكتور وافي كانت عزيز علينا. لا أنا عم بختم بس بعد شهر حتختم. It was really nice. We will share this videos. أنا بوعد الكل and all the audience that we are going to do many sessions إن شاء الله مع دكتور وافي for all the وحنحضرهم كمان مع مثل غسان ولما وكتير قصص. حنحضر certain sessions تكون مفيدة للليبانيز. نحن in this period we need أكيد to go to cover all over the world, but we need to be united and this solidarity اللي أنا عم بدعي لها. We need to cooperate نساعد اللبنانية to plan and to sustain by using smart people like you, Doctor, or smart tools like BI and ERP.
I'm not the only smart guy. I'm not the only smart guy.
You are using your brain. You are planning to use your brain properly, man.
That's again, this is one of the success of the Lebanese. It's that we are able to shift easily and we change courses many times along the day.
Can adapt easily, yes.
We will sustain and we will succeed again. وحيشوف العالم كله إنه it's gonna be bad days وبتقطع إن شاء الله يا رب.
I will thank you all. If you have any questions, but Odette has a question. Can you talk about company providing CRM integration? What's CRM exactly? So can you answer her question?
Sure. What do you mean about CRM integration? You want to integrate your CRM with your ERP and BI?
Actually, maybe you can answer Odette. Yes.
Depends on your CRM. Which CRM product you're using, which ERP product you're using, which BI product you are using or you plan to use. Let's say a BI project is again about integration, because I have to pick up the data. The data is not in the BI. The data is in the CRM, is in the ERP, is in the attendance system, is in the social media, because we are a lot analyzing the social media and the feedback of our users. And the user satisfaction rate is in the social media. It's not on our blog. It's not on our website. The real customer satisfaction ratio is you find it in the social media, what people are talking about your brand. And you have to get all these data from those different sources, integrate them into your BI, import them into your BI, creating the analysis out of it and presenting the results.
I will thank you. If you have any questions, please, you can text me directly. Yes, I will send my email here. You can ask me directly and forward it to Dr.
Please, الكونتاكت تبع دكتور وافي إذا ما
share it.
You can share it, yes.
Sure. And any questions, I'm really happy to answer.
Thank you all. We're ready to answer all your questions. So
بس أنا I would like to thank you all كمان. I would like to من هون عم بحاول أكون كتير لبناني أكثر من غيري، بس we need to believe in all our capabilities جماعة ووجود الكل يعني عن جد غسان thank you ولما وجهينة ومارك وفيكتور وأودات وآدم وأحمد
thank you all.
هيثم وماهر وماجد في حدا معه في ايفون عم نعمل دعاية وفي دي جي معنا ما بعرف thank you all for your time your contribution your availability is
every party needs a DJ.
Exactly. So we need to boost positivity. We need to boost this. إذا بدك هذا spirit. Every Wednesday we will keep boosting it. We will keep talking ERP and CRM. Whatever will happen, inshallah. And it's a bad days, and we'll overcome this. وأحسن وأحسن inshallah. Together, all together.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you all. Thank you much.
Thank you, everyone.
All.
Thank you,
And see you.
Great session. Thank you, Mr. Wafi. Thank you.
Thank you, Ghassan. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thanks, Lama. Have a good day.